Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to your beginner yin practice. Today we are focusing on the spine, and this sequence involves no props whatsoever. So we're gonna work with different feelings, different stretches with our spine, with our back, and you're not going to need any props for this. It's very beginner friendly, nothing that you can't do. And even though I'm not there with you live, I am there with you in spirit, and trust me, I believe in you. We got this. For those who don't know, I am Andriana, trained yin teacher, yin enthusiast, and this is your Candlelight yin session today. So let's start on our backs today. So we're just going to take a moment on our backs to just ground ourselves into our practice. So we're just going to get onto our mats to lay down, rest our legs, rest our arms. And then we're just going to take a moment to ground ourselves to our mat, into our practice. So release any breath that you have in you. And then we'll take a deep inhale through our nose, filling our stomach and chest up with breath. And then sigh. Again, inhale through your nose, filling your body up. And sigh. One last time, inhale through your nose, filling your body up. Hold for a moment at the top. And then sigh. And just take notice of the natural flow of your breath as it comes in and out of your nose. As it slowly rises your stomach as you breathe in, and how your stomach slowly falls as you breathe out. Just taking notice of the natural flow of your breath as it comes in and out of your body. From here, we're going to shift into our first pose. So as we're on our back, we're going to shift our right leg further towards the right of our mat, even coming off the mat. And then we're going to shift our left leg to meet our right, kind of taking this crescent moon shape with our legs. From here, we're going to move our upper body now towards the right. So we're just going to shift our upper body towards the right side of our mat. Just coming over. So now our body is in Bananasana, making this crescent moon shape. We can stay here with our arms down, legs beside each other, or try crossing your legs. Try both sides. Some people like to cross the left over the right to get a deeper sensation of the side stretch. Some like to cross the right over the left to lock that foot in. So try both and see which works best for you. There's no wrong answer, or you can just keep your feet by the side. Arms can stay down by the side, or you can bring them overhead, extending that sensation in that left side body as your arms come overhead. You can gently hold onto that left wrist with your right hand, giving it a nice little pull to deepen that sensation on the left hand side. Just take notice of how your arms feel overhead here. If there's any tingling or numbness sensation in your arms, keep them by your side. That means you are pinching a nerve. We do not want to rest in that position. No nerve pinching allowed in this class, okay? Number one rule. So just keep your arms down by your side. Once we find our position here, we're just going to rest into this pose. Breathing in to the left side body. to slowly move out of this pose. So as we move out of this pose, we're just going to reverse how we came into it. So if our arms are overhead, we'll bring them down by our side. If our legs are crossed, we're going to uncross them. Then we're going to shift our upper body back towards center, and then our left leg, and then our right. We'll just take a few moments here, just taking a few breaths while we're in the center position. Feel free to close your eyes, just taking a moment here. I want to notice any sensations in the body. And then we're going to shift into our left side. So now we're shifting our left leg over to the left and then shifting the right leg to meet it. Cross if that feels good for you, playing around which leg crosses with. Which leg crosses over the other. And then we're going to move our upper body. So shifting that towards the left, keeping our arms by our side or then bringing them overhead, gently pulling on that right wrist with the left hand, if that feels good for us today. Now feeling that stretch within the right side of our spine here now, as we come to our Bananasana on the other side. Now just take a moment to close your eyes and breathe into that right side body. Now let's slowly move out of this pose just as we came in. So arms down by our side first, shifting our upper body back to center, uncrossing our legs, shifting that right foot and then our left, and then again taking just a moment here in our Shavasana position just to breathe, just to rest. From here, we're just going to bend our knees, bringing the soles of our feet to the mat. Come on to our side for a moment, and push up to a seated position as we shift into our next position. So we're just going to swing our legs around, and we're actually going to come on to our stomachs. I'm just going to fix my pack here. So we're going to come onto our stomachs to come into our Sphinx pose. So as we're here, we're going to grab onto opposite elbows, relax the top of the feet onto the mat. So with our Sphinx, we're going into the bend of our lower back here. So working with our lumbar spine, our lower back. So just take notice of the sensation here, just as you grab onto opposite elbows. If the sensation is too much and you want to lessen it, bring those elbows farther away from you. If it's just fine, you can keep those elbows in. Option here to keep holding opposite elbows or straighten out those arms, coming into true Sphinx pose here. And then feel free to rest your neck down if that feels good for you, or you can keep looking ahead. So just finding that position that feels best for you, taking a moment here, breathing into that lower back as we work into the spine. Option here, because sometimes your shoulders do get tired, you can bend your elbows, rest your chin into your hands just to support your head here. As we're halfway through our Sphinx pose, we have an option if you want to deepen that back bend sensation. So you can stay here in Sphinx, or we can come into Seal. So my hands are as wide as the mat on either side. And then from here, I'm pushing up my hands. And placement here. Farther your hands away, the less sensation in your lower back. Closer your hands are, the deeper the sensation in your lower back. Also the width of your hands. Some people, they like their hands wide. Some people like their hands narrow. So you find which feels best for you. I personally like my hands at the top of my mat and wide because I don't have as much flexibility in my lower back. So this feels best for me. So you just find what feels best for you and go with it, because it's your body and it's your practice. So once you find that position, find your edge, we find stillness in the pose, we close our eyes and we hold, just breathing into our lower back here. So from this seal pose is what this is called. We're just gonna bend into our elbows, stack our hands on top of each other, and just rest our forehead onto our hands. Taking a moment here to release our lower back and just breathe. From here, we're just gonna bring our hands beside our chest, push into our hands, and just push ourselves up to all fours. Then we're just gonna swing our legs around, extending them in front of us. So as the Sphinx and Seal pose, we're working with our back extension. Now we're gonna work with our back flexion. So now we're gonna go forward with our spine, with our back. So we're sitting with our legs straight out, trying to get your hips as far back as you can. So just shifting those feet back so you can get your hips farther back and use some more hip mobility to go forward here. Since we're not using blocks, that's one way we can get ourselves forward. So from here, my legs are relatively relaxed. I have my arms out just as a reminder that I'm going forward. So I'm not coming from my upper back here, using our hips. We're gonna use our hips, going forward from our hips. Once we find that point of resistance, that's our edge where we can't go forward anymore, that's when we relax into it. So let our hands fall on either side of our legs, let our neck relax, and just breathe here. So we're really trying to get the sensation, or to get the movement from our hips. Trying to get the movement from our hips, not from our upper back. So we don't want our shoulders looking like this. We want them to be relaxed because this movement's coming from our hips. So find your edge, find stillness in the pose, and we'll hold it for time. From here, I'm going to slowly roll out of the pose, coming back up to our straight spine. We'll take a moment here, just bring our hands behind us, bend our knees, bring the soles of our feet to the mat, and then we're just going to windshield wiper our legs from side to side, taking a moment here to add some yang to our yin. From here, we're just going to come onto our back for the last posture. So just come all the way onto your back here. And we're going to come into a twist. So what we could do is when we lift our legs up, we can keep them together like so, or we can cross them over each other, coming into eagle legs. Just finding which feels best for you. Arms can be in a T shape or a U shape depending on your space. From here, we're just gonna let our legs fall to the right side. So if you did eagle legs, you want to cross left over right and then let it fall towards the right side so your left leg is on top. If your legs are stuck together, just let them fall where they may. Options here, let's look at our left hand, and you can use your right hand to apply a little bit of pressure to the outside of that left leg. Release your right hand up, bring your legs back to center. If they're crossed, now we're going to switch our right over our left, and then let them fall towards the left side. Again, you can use that left hand on the outside of that right leg and look towards your right palm. Taking a moment here as we twist to the other side, breathing into this pose. Let's release that left hand, bring our legs back to center, untwist them if they're twisted, and then we're just going to extend our legs and extend our arms down by your side, coming into our Shavasana as we finish our practice. I'll take a moment here just to breathe, just to reconnect with our breath. If we're ready to move to the next part of our day, we're just going to reach our arms over our head and take a moment to just stretch our full body out, pointing those toes, really stretching the full body. Take an inhale as you stretch, and then exhale, release it down. We're going to come on to our side, taking a moment here. And when you feel ready, just coming up to a seated position, back into our mat. We're going to cross our legs, have our hands in prayer in front of our chest. Just as we started the practice, we'll end the same way with a deep breath together. So let's inhale through our nose, fill our body up, pause for a moment at the top, and then sigh. Thank you so much for joining me for this beginner, no prop spine practice. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whether you've done this in the morning or the night. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.